Here we go. 1 second. And we are live.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man Unplugged. Welcome, everyone. We're so happy to have you. It's your boy, Skywalker, I guess. OGNYC, and the man, the myth, the legend himself, that boy Cynic.
What's going
Welcome
on,
in, boys. How
everybody?
we doing?
Take three.
We're good.
Yeah,
Good to have you
we
guys
are.
here, man.
We
How we
are.
feeling?
We are good indeed. I'm tired, but that's normal for me at this age.
So
Did
I'm
you
a
use the
mummy.
bathroom before we started
I'm
recording?
a mummy. I'm in the tomb.
Man, I'm excited to be here. For those of you that followed us from the previous venture, NSU No Stone Unturned, as we said in our farewell episode, this is going to be a little different. It's going to be similar, but it's going to be different. It's more of a, I guess you could say, more of a niche. But we're really looking forward to it, man. There's been a lot of work on the back end to get this going, a lot of preparation. If for those of you that don't know, we have Cynic in Germany, OGNYC, it's in his name. He's in New York City. I'm currently in Austin, Texas. So we're dealing with 3 different time zones, a lot of preparation, a lot of a brow sweat, if you will. But it just lets you know how we're excited about how much we're excited about this venture and what we're about to get off into, man. So we just want to officially welcome you guys in. Hopefully, we do have some fans from No Stone coming in here and following along, and hopefully, we got some new ones ready to embark on this journey.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But tell him, Frank, what this new journey is about. Considering where we're coming from with No Stone Unturned.
What do you mean with the bio?
What are we discussing here? Why are we here?
In general? I mean, I think
I mean, we decided to do this, right? To go a different
go ahead.
direction. So,
Yeah.
maybe just go into that a little bit. So, give a little primer to these folks.
Yeah, man. I just, the title says a lot, right? Man Unplugged. And that may deter some people away, which we don't want, right? Like we said in that farewell episode, if it's a woman trying to get into the man psyche, if it's men trying to learn more about, am I alone out here, right? Because a lot of the times we go through things and it's like, man, is it just me? Like, am I, am I in the episode of a Twilight Zone? I think a lot of people are going to tune in and they're going to be like, man, it's good, pun intended. It's good to know that I'm not alone. It's good to know that there's other people out here that think the way I do, that feel the way I do. And amongst that, we're going to have some laughs, right? Because I think that's what we do best. We got a couple things lined up that are, that we're just going to chuckle about and make light of, but at the same time, really get into the meat and bones of what it is to be a man in the 21st century, So,
yes, sir.
Man, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you for summarizing that. We all are looking forward to it for sure. I remember when we first finally agreed on the direction we wanted to go, right? Because it's hard to come to consensus with yourself sometimes with 3 people. It's a bit crazy, but we were all really excited when we came up with this idea. So I hope that everyone else enjoys it as well.
Most definitely. OGNYC, anything you want to hit them with before we get into a little dad joke?
Oh yes, the dad jokes. You guys said it best. I think. I mean, hope the listeners following us and the new ones coming on board, they come in with open ears, open minds, give us their feedback, open hearts, absolutely.
Well. Yes, sir.
And so we can go ahead and we want to hear what you guys have to say as well. We can feed off of that as well. So let's get it, guys. Let's get it.
OG
So
really
that
wants
being
to hear.
said,
I can care less. Now I'm playing.
That being said, we have a new segment, right? And if you were with us before, we used to have a segment called Fun Fact. and now we're trying something a little more relevant to the topic. So
Yes.
we're introducing
Dad jokes.
that joke.
Listen, I don't have any music yet, but give me some time. All right, we'll come up with a jingle. I love a good dad joke. I'm a cornball, so hopefully we'll have some fun with this one. OG, what you got for
All
me?
right, all right, guys, let's go. Don't just my first one. My first one.
Hey, get your feet up.
You're already starting bad.
Why don't skeletons fight each other? Let me say that again. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. Plus, it's hard to pick a bone with someone who lacks a funny bone. Hey,
Whoa. Zinger.
Zinger.
Hey!
You had me until the funny bone part. I was like, that's really good with the they don't have the guts, but then it got too wordy for me. It was like, and they don't have funny bones. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, the metatarsals. It was a bit much. It could have stopped there, but it was a good first, a good
a good
showing
one,
for
man.
the first.
I love a good
first
Okay,
dad
time.
joke.
it's the first one. It's the first one.
Yeah, it was a good pick, OG. That wasn't
A little
nothing that
icebreaker,
you-
a little icebreaker.
You dropped the ball on.
Are
It was a
you
good
are you
pick.
comfortable with that, or do you want to?
You want me to
You want
another
to try
one?
again?
hold
It's
on.
up
No,
to
it's
you.
the first episode. Let's give them a little
listen,
bonus
let-
pack, man. A little
All
double
right, hold
trouble,
on.
you know what I'm saying?
Okay. A little shorter. Okay. Nacho cheese. It's a cheesy case of rightful ownership. Oh shit, I said it wrong. My bad. I said the joke before I said forget it. Scratch it. Scratch that.
I love when we're live, baby. I
Great.
love when we're live.
Hey,
You get
this
it
is
out
genuine.
of it.
It's genuine.
Hot
It's
off the
genuine.
press.
Okay, how about this? I'm on a seafood diet. I see food and I eat it. My diet has death, both literally and figuratively.
You see, so here's what's going on with your dad jokes. The
They're too
first
long.
portion of it,
I get a late clap. If you don't like it, people don't clap. It's okay. It's
the
okay.
first
I'm not
portion
gonna
of
take
it is
personal.
fine. Which that one I've heard since I was in elementary. Even though when we
Okay.
did it, they would open their mouth when their food, like they would chew their food, like, oh, you like seafood, and they would show you like their. It was a lot more nasty when I was younger. But it's the second part of the dad joke that I think
That's it.
They're
It goes
just-
too far.
they're throwing us off here. You know.
I got
Yeah.
But again, good submission, OG.
We'll have to revisit the source for next
We-
episode.
We have to do better research. We have to do
Yeah,
better
I'm
research.
noticing a trend with these dad jokes.
I think we're gonna have to, check these before we unleash them. Man, hey, you know what I'm really excited about on this venture, boys, is we have this opportunity to speak about not only our experiences but other people's experiences, right?
Mhm.
And we do have anonymous individuals and anonymous cases that we're going to be getting into, right? We're going to be reading into them a bit. Some are funny, some are cringeworthy, some are really serious, right? And it could hit that mark too. But I say we slide into that segment, man. Let's get into those anonymous contributions from the
do
anonymous
it.
platform that will stay, you guessed it, anonymous.
Watch out.
And let's see what we got, man, because I'm really looking forward to that. Again, not only for us to give them our point of view, but just to get other people's takes as well as far as what they're going through and things of that nature.
Yeah. So let me, if you don't mind, I'll share one of the first submissions
I love it.
that we came across. So this guy, I'll just read it. I'll try to summarize it a little bit. It's a bit long, but he says he works at his current job and earns $76K a year doing carpentry. He works for one of his best friends, and he does whatever he wants. He's got a flexible schedule. He loves his job. They play music, have a good time, etc. Problem he finds is that he has no room for growth. He thinks maybe if he pushes it, he can get another 10K out of it, but that seems to be the max he thinks he can go. At the same time, he doesn't get any benefits. He has no retirement plan, no 1099, whatever that means. Me not living in the States, I can't say anything to that. He gets vacations, but no paid sick days. Then he says, fast forward to yesterday, he was offered another job for $62K with incentives that could take him up to $80K. And a ton of growth opportunities, retirement, 401K benefits, etc., etc. he'd be jumping to a new trade with paid schooling and opening a new branch or opening a branch in a new region. So his dilemma seems to be between deciding whether to make the jump to this sort of riskier unknown in a sense, because he's going to be kind of starting something new, but with more growth potential, etc. Or if he should stay where he is, or if he should even open his own business. Why are we talking about this? Why? Well, because he's coming at this perspective as a husband and father, and he's trying to weigh these things, which I think we're all familiar with, because they affect his ability to provide for his family, right? And at the end of the day, it comes down to the decision of weighing the risks and how risk averse are you, and the fear of failing, and then having people who count on you suffer the consequences. So yeah,
OG, what do you
how do
think
you
about
guys
that,
see that?
man?
What would you do?
Yeah, OG, get in there, baby.
If he's a dad and he has a family, I immediately fall to the latter, where we hear about the benefits, potential for more growth, a bigger salary, and maybe a bigger title down the line. I mean, if he's already thinking about change, that means he feels he's ready. Even though it's his best friend, and he has the flexibility and the liberty to do what he wants. That's a nice freedom to have, but there's no structure with the first job. So if me being a dad was taking that on, I would say, let me take the second one. Let me take a cut now, because you're going to take a pay cut now, and then work my way up. But at least I'll have benefits now to offer my family. I'll have something, maybe a retirement plan for me in the future. And I have a much better way of growing within the company. And they're going to pay me for training. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Just my thoughts. I mean, I'm sure, he's probably, thinking about his friend too. Letting his friend down, and maybe now he has to rehire somebody. But at the end of the day, when you have your own family, you got to put your family first.
Yeah, I'll jump in here next, Cynic, and then we can get your take if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I think it just depends on where I'm at, right? If I'm a single, if I'm a bachelor, if I'm out there living life, I don't mind staying with my boy a little longer. You know what I mean? Like, we make our own schedule. Who cares about BTO? We'll make it work. We shoot the shit. I'm still making good money. Now, if we factor in the fact that I'm responsible for my wife and my kid or kids, then I have to go with the latter, right? Because as men, we need to make sure that we protect, provide, and we love, right? And part of that security is going to give me the peace of mind that I need, that, hey man, if something happens, I know that with this option, my family's going to be in a much better position versus if something happening with me just shooting the shit with my friend, and that's why for me, it just ultimately depends on where you are in your life. I think, again, if I didn't have kids, I wouldn't, not to say that second option still wouldn't be better, because I still think is the more responsible one. But again, you throw caution to the wind, you're living life a quarter mile of a minute, like Vin Diesel will say in Fast and Furious. Family, you're not thinking about those things. You're kind of just going as the days go, right? But as soon as you have that first kid, as soon as you have your child, and those roles change, and you understand now that you're going to be the head of this household, and a lot of that responsibility is going to be on you. There's no way that I can stay with my buddy, even though it's comfortable, but that I don't, if I don't have those specific metrics in place, like 401ks and health insurance, things like that. Because we live in the U.S., right? It's not like Cynic that his take might be a little different,
universal,
but yeah.
Why you hating, bro?
We're not
never.
Hating,
we wish we could have universal here, my man. Please.
I mean, it ain't all it's cracked up to be, but it is nice not to have
pros
that
and
concern.
cons. Pros and cons on both sides of it.
Sure.
Yeah. So you guys summed it up quite well.
There's not a lot of meat left on that bone, huh?
No, there isn't. But I'll just to round it off, I guess. I guess it depends also, or maybe you touched on this, because I know you said it depends on like where he's at. For me, it's
yeah.
I found that for me, there was a shift as I got older. So like when I was younger, I was much like most people. I was much more open to taking risks, especially with work.
Mhm.
So I would jump around a lot as long as it meant that I was jumping up, right? Um, now, I mean, now my situation is is different because I'm also a homeowner on top of being a dad and a husband, right?
Mm.
But even be like the homeowner part just put the fucking nail on the coffin. But
Yeah, you're
before that,
fucking done
I
now.
was already much more risk averse the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years in my life because I reached a point where I'm earning the well good money, the most money I've ever earned, which is as it should be. The older you get, right?
Mhm.
Um, and it's like that. What's that saying? Actually, I
More
don't know
money,
what
more
the saying is,
problems.
but basically, but basically,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, the more you have, the more afraid you are to lose what you have, right?
Mhm.
When you don't have anything or when you have little, then of course it's easy to take risks to better your situation.
Mhm.
But the more you have, and the more you surround yourselves with things that require, well, material things that require, that income, the more afraid you are to put yourself in a situation where you're gonna all of a sudden you might lose that, not have that, and then your whole lifestyle changes, right? So it depends on his age. I think. I mean, that's how I would see it, and where, of course, where he's at, kids
Sure.
wise, and all that. But
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So good luck to you, buddy. Hope you
Listen,
make the right
man,
decision.
you know what you need to do, bro. You think it's hard for some people to make that transition from being like, I don't want to say selfish, because even though maybe that is a good way of putting it, but kind of only worrying about themselves to now having the responsibility to look after and nurture and provide for this family. You think people had like trouble transitioning from one stage of the life to the next?
I think some do. I think some do. Some don't ever get out of that, club phase that, I want to hang out with my friends stage. I want to play video games till 4 o'clock in the morning stage. Sometimes they transition into a relationship now with the family and still want to keep that same lifestyle. And for me, I can only speak for me. I knew I had to cut that cord and say, okay, and as you get older too, I mean, it's gonna be funny when I say it. The music gets too loud. It's like, I'm just
Oh
trying to
my god.
talk. I'm not trying to scream over here. I'm trying
I
to have
can
a
smell
conversation.
I can smell the Bengay through the mic. I can smell
it's,
the
it's
Vicks and the
it's
Bengay
funny
already.
because a few last year I have a group of guys who are my boys. We've been together for at least good 8-9 years, just hanging out. It's a little crew that we have. So we get together once or twice a month. Make a long story short, we were in a nice restaurant on the waterside in Jersey. Started off great. Now we're about 4 or 5 hours in. We're nice and toasty, and the music all of a sudden gets really, really loud. And they start moving furniture, and we're like,
Just
"What's
making
going
all that
on?"
racket.
Right. So we call the waiter over. We're like, "I'm sorry, can you like turn the music down? I mean, or what's going on?" And the guy looked at us like we have 4 heads. He was like, "Excuse me, we're in a nightclub now, and this is the nightclub stage." They moved us all the way to the other end of the restaurant with heaters, by the way, because we were outside. And I had two of my boys were like, "Can you have two more? I'm cold." I was like, "Jesus, they're gonna throw us out." So when
Wow.
Frankie's talking about Ben Gay, oh, forget it. We were rolling because the waiter looked at us like, "Are you guys serious? How is the music loud? You guys are outside of the club."
Oh my gosh.
So we thought that was hilarious.
Yo,
Yo.
that is
Yeah.
Thankfully, I'm not there yet,
uh,
boys.
I was gonna say that. I thought I'm far along, but geez.
Now, even
No.
though I can relate to the loud music, like I'm more if I were to go out, because I really don't go out like that much anymore, but I'm more of a lounge guy, you
Right.
know. If
Right.
there's a special occasion and we're at a quote unquote club, I'm not gonna tell the DJ to turn the music down. But I understand in G's situation it was different because it was a restaurant that
Right.
transitioned into a club
Yeah.
at night.
Right.
So at first he's having a meal, he's having some drinks. That's the vibe, and now suavemente
Right.
starts
Yeah.
coming on. So
I
I
quiero
can
sentir tus labios besándome otra
I can
vez.
understand G's point, I can. But if I'm in an environment where I am in a club, which again I don't remember the last time I was in one, I'm definitely gonna be in the VIP, boys. I don't do gen pop. Sorry. I don't mix with the common folk. Don't do it.
Gen Pop.
Gen Pop.
So yesterday, you guys know, yesterday we were at a country music festival.
Oh
And,
yeah, tell us about that. Yeehaw.
So, well, I mean, I won't go into the details. Maybe on another show. The point is, the way it ties into this. My bad, I hit the mic. The beer's starting to go to the head. The reason it ties into this is because we got there at short before 5, because that's when the doors open, when they start letting and the first act starts. And the headliner wasn't due to start until, according to the schedule, until like 10:20 at night. So we got there, like at 4:30 or something like that. Had a drink, whatever. Then we went inside. The music started. Blah blah blah. Yo, by 8 o'clock, I was yawning. By 8 o'clock, I was that guy sitting up in the nosebleed, talking about. And I mean, I couldn't help it. I was tired, but we soldiered on. We made it through to the very end. Saw the headliner and had a great time.
Listen, when you got home, you shot us a text message and it was like scuba scabba scuba scuba. I was like, whoa, my guy is lit like a light bulb. He blamed it on autocorrect. I was like, sure, buddy.
The thing is, it was autocorrect, but so,
like
when I saw your message,
did he just have a stroke while he was texting? What the fuck? Fudge?
When I saw your message, I was like, why is he saying that? So I looked at my message. I looked back at my own message. I was like, Jesus Christ.
What the hell?
It just makes me look like a goddamn retard. I mean,
or you were drunk.
Or you had a few.
I was not drunk.
That's what you say.
I was like, yo, tell my sister-in-law to drive home. You're like, we're already home, bro.
That ship has sailed. All right, so okay, let's put that story to rest. I hope that guy, makes the right decision.
And anybody, most importantly, anybody who may be potentially dealing with that, seesaw of decisions. Hopefully, us just talking shop is giving you some clarity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
indeed. Let's hope for the best.
Yes, sir.
So, should I read the next one? Do you guys want to jump in? How do you feel about this right now? Because we didn't really rehearse this.
I feel good with you narrating it, man.
Keep it flowing.
Unless OG wants to read one or something.
No, I'm good. Go ahead. You keep going. We're good.
All right, I got you guys.
You got
so
it.
The next one, the guy says,
"I'll take one for the team."
So my boy says the wife has been acting up for a while now. So you know what kind of story this is going to be. The wife has been acting up. He's like, he's talking about his pet.
A dog or something. The wife's been acting up, peeing on furniture again.
Take her out of the cage.
So, okay, can't do anything without her getting mad about it. I coach baseball, and she gets mad, saying that I can do whatever I want, and she can't yet. What? His texts are worse than my drunk texts. Hold on a second. I coach baseball, and she gets mad, saying that I can do whatever I want, and she can't. Oh, he's missing punctuation.
He's missing a comma.
Okay. And she can't yet. I tell her to go out and have some time to yourself. I'll watch the kids. Long story short, I'm always affectionate, saying cute shit, doing the most. And most of the time, actually all the time, she just says, leave me alone. Or when I say I love you, she says, no, you don't, or just ignores me. I practically have to beg my wife to engage into a conversation with me.
Jesus.
Right. And then he asks if we've experienced the same.
Listen, I know it started off and we were like, oh, this guy, we can tell this guy's a Jack, you know what? But as he continued on, man, I kind of feel for the dude.
Yeah.
Looks like you need to take that one back to the store and get your money back, my friend. You still got the receipt on that one?
Can I exchange her?
I don't know.
That's a tough one. It's a tough one because he's making his points. He's saying, he's complimenting. He's he's doing his part. He's giving her, freedom to go out. He'll take care of the kids. So it's not like he's being, the machismo, the machista, and I'm not doing shit type thing. But I think it's her, man. I mean, I know you guys are gonna come at us by pointing fingers, but if he's doing his part, he's complimenting her, he's engaging with her, he's trying to show her affection, and he's not getting nothing back. I mean, that says it all. What do you think about that, Cynic?
I don't know, man. The fact that he's missing so much punctuation just throws me off. I'm like, this guy's an idiot. Who says
she's not?
Maybe she doesn't want to spend time with you because you can't. No, you can't write.
Yeah,
a
because
sentence.
you don't put
Can't write a
periods
sentence,
at the end of your sentences?
Jesus.
No, I mean, but also he's like, he's like, I'm always affectionate and saying cute shit. Like, really? How do we define affection?
Hey, yo,
and
mommy,
cute
you
shit?
look great in them shorts today, baby.
When the guy.
She might think he's corny as hell. I don't know, bro. The thing is, like, something sounds off, right? Because this is the kind of situation I would hope would be, red flags would be coming up like during the courting phase, during the dating phase. He's talking about this is his wife, which is strange. Yeah. So what happened? What changed? Or did you just go into this blindly? I don't understand. But judging by a lot of and I'll let you go next, OG. Judging by a lot of the submissions that we've seen, I have the feeling that a lot of guys go into their relationships blindly. But we'll get to that.
You know what it is too, gentlemen? Real quick. I think when you're in a long-term relationship, right? You have the honeymoon phase, and we kind of like most men get stuck in that phase. Like, this is the way it's going to be all the time. Now, after you're 2-3 years in, most women, I'm going to say it again, most women, not all, they start feeling, I'm bloated today. I don't feel, beautiful today. I don't feel sexy today. So if they're not feeling it, they're not going to show it. Trust me when I say this. I have 51 years of experience, and it gets to that point because you could make all the compliments. You could walk by and slap her in the ass and be like, "Mama, you look good today, baby," and walk away. So that's all you gotta do. And they would either take that as a ooh, or you hit me too hard, or why are you touching me, and then oh shit, it's not gonna be a good day. Maybe I should step outside.
You know what's funny, and I'll let you go next, Frank, but it's just because we have Regis on the chat who just made a comment. He said, sounds like he may not know her love language. And it kind of reminded me to where G is going with this, how she's feeling and whatever. It's like, come on, man.
Yes. I mean, listen, guys.
Thank you, Regis. Appreciate your contribution.
Listen, we gotta learn. You gotta learn your partner. You gotta learn your mate. And if you really are into her and you're married to her, I mean, that says it all. So you gotta rev up the engines. You just can't just jump in the car and turn it on, right? You gotta rev it up. You gotta warm it up. You gotta get her going. And I don't think most of us understand that. I'm just.
Yo, it doesn't take long before Keith Sweat comes out. It's always.
Look, you know what I'm saying? We ain't playing quarterback. What, you know what I'm saying? Yo, by the way, shout out to Regis, man. Regis is actually going to be on the show.
Nice.
In one of these upcoming episodes. So glad you're on, brother. Good to see you. I didn't want to cut you short, OG. I just wanted to make some light of.
No. Jump in. You
gotta rev the engines, baby. Nah, you're right, man. One thing that I'll say, man, is and Cynic alluded to this early on, was something along the lines where I think you said that they rushed into it or they weren't. What was it that you said?
Well, I was saying, like, normally this should be something that is sorted out during the courting in the dating phase. Yeah. But they're married.
Exactly. But they're married, right? So they're skipping some steps. And I kind of just want to speak on that in general because, again, you guys said a lot of good info as far as that last take. Not much left for me there. But I do think there's this stigma, whether it be because of where you're at geographically, right? Or maybe religion, right? Because, if you're a religious dude, you can't you can't do the hanky panky until you're married, right? So now you're holding back because you don't want to act in the flesh, and obviously you're a human being with needs. So you meet somebody, right? But you're holding back, right? And now you're making decisions. Oh man, we lost OG. Now we're making decisions based off of our Captain Winky, right? Like, we're just horny, man. We're just horny. We want to do the do. We want to do the horizontal polka. Okay. I think in some cases, whether it be religion or other other cases, like again, maybe geographically, maybe there's not a lot of people around you, right? Maybe you lived in a secluded town, slim pickings, right? Maybe Abby from down the street is the best we got, right? So it's kind of process of elimination. Sorry, Abby. I think that ultimately, sometimes people skip that either courting phase or really, skip the part where they're asking themselves, do I see myself spending the rest of my life with this individual? Right? They're kind of doing something more for the moment, right? This right now makes sense, right? And I think inevitably, man, when you do things like that, you're more prone to be in those type of situations where you're like, my wife is grossed out when I touch her. Like, your wife should not be grossed out when you touch her. Your wife should not be in an awkward situation, or make you feel awkward in a situation. I mean, I don't think those are things that those are things you should be working through in the boyfriend girlfriend stage. Right? Yeah. So, if you can work through them and ultimately get to, to greener pastures. Welcome back, OGNYC. See if you can, get to greener pastures. I mean, if we're talking about your wife feeling funny when you touch her, or when you make a comment, it leads me to believe that you didn't do your homework before you asked her to marry her, and yeah. That's what I got to say about that, man.
So I guess I don't know if we're going to tie it off here, but I said that, partially joking, but partially serious. I do think, especially from what I've seen, that a lot of dudes are going into these marriages without really knowing their partners. And I'm not trying to say, hey, I'm the pinnacle of relationship advice, something like that. No, not at all. I mean, I learned along the way, like most of us. It's just that some of the things that I see just seem like such red flags. But nevertheless, I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle, because as G went down Keith Sweat lane, I think he's also right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to warm up, baby.
I think he's also right, though, because you guys know, like, I've been married over 20 years, and your partner changes just like you change. So it's not necessarily that you don't know them. Like, we don't know how long this dude's been together with his partner or wife, but surely the longer you're together, then people change, and the things that maybe they used to like, they don't like, or as G said, they're not so happy with their something about themselves, so you got to work around that, or you know what I mean. So the truth is somewhere in the middle, but still, you guys got to do a little bit more due diligence for going into relationships.
Regis does come back with, and the given fact that he can't form a proper sentence, he may not be good at paying attention to detail.
Exactly.
Which,
see,
hey, Regis, you're hitting on the spot, baby. You're absolutely
good point,
right,
Regis.
man.
True.
Absolutely right.
Now, what do you
guys think about love languages? There's 5 love languages, right? There's acts of service. There's physical touch. There's gifts.
Yes.
What's
I
the
don't know
other 2?
them. Acts of service, physical
acts
touch,
of service, physical
gifts.
touch, gifts. Oh man, I think we should have been ready for this. Spending time, quality time is one, and then there's one more. Let me just look
off
it
top
up.
of my head. Off the top of my head, I don't know them, but you're hitting the points on the head, Skywalker. It's basically just taking the time to learn your partner. I mean, everyone gets comfortable once you go long term. I mean, Cynic, I don't know, 27 years. I'm sure you guys.
Whoa, not 27.
No,
22? No, it's 20 something.
Oh.
Put me on the spot like that, bro.
I
You know,
got it,
everyone
guys. Real
needs.
quick to interject. Acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation was the one we missed. Was the one we missed, and physical touch. Go ahead, G.
Right. Doing date night. Having that one-on-one time. Without the kids, just to give each other that quality time together. But all that takes effort. All that takes planning, and then what happens? Work, life, home. Physically tired. You know what I'm saying? I mean, on both ends. I don't think just women. I mean, we get tired too. But it's just making an effort, and I think a lot of times we miss that. We don't want to do that.
I mean, I think with and Cynic, I'll let you jump in here. I think it's definitely important if you're considering being in a relationship with someone, like knowing what makes them not tick in a sense, but what gets them going, right? And everybody's different. Sometimes physical touch grosses people out, believe it or not, even if it is from their significant other. If they're not in that intimate setting, they don't want to be touched, right? Intimacy, obviously, I think everybody should be okay with that. But other people don't want to be grabbed around the waist when they're in the kitchen cooking, right? They just want their space. Other people want that, right? And I think knowing what your partner wants is important to the longevity of that relationship. And you have to be interested enough to know what that person wants. Like you guys said, I mean, Cynic, you've been 37 years in, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's been a while, son. I'm sure
Keeps getting higher.
Y'all are some bastards.
I'm sure that, like you said, you're not the same person that you were 37 years ago, right? Like you guys change. And I'm sure that you've had to relearn, my sister-in-law's love language, even though you weren't aware of them. But I don't think you need to know them I don't think you need to know them to know what it means, the essence of it, right? So you don't need to know the 5, but you get the concept of we're different people now. And I need to make sure that I'm still connecting with this person that's in front of me, right? With this version, because like she's different, I'm different. And I think you got to be in tune in that sense, man. You got to be in tune 100%.
Facts.
47 years is a long time, Cynic. I'm adding 10 every time, baby.
What I thought I just had when you were mentioning about she's different, I'm different. That reminded me that actually that's a really good point. Like, I don't think we think enough about how we change, and depending on your circumstances. Like I can tell you from my own experience, if you're not someone who learned, growing up, how to like really pay attention to yourself. And I think this is like really gets to the core of our theme, because I think men struggle with this especially. If you don't pay attention to yourself, like know what it is, like who you are, what it is that you like, what it is that you don't like, right? If that's something that doesn't necessarily come naturally, you have to be kind of guided, and you need to have certain experiences. I don't know, because I didn't have that. So I say that to say that part of what adds to all that complexity is that you yourself might be still trying to figure out what you are about, and what you like and what you don't
100.
like. I certainly have been dealing with that also in the majority of my adulthood, and that makes everything all the more complicated. So I joked around about this dude and not knowing his partner, but the reality is, do you know yourself?
Man, we're ever evolving beings, man. We are. I said it, I don't know when I said it, if it was on the NSU or what, but I'm not the same person I was yesterday. Right? And it's because I'm aware of my growth, and I want to continue growing. I want to continue tapping into the 2.0 version of myself. But you're absolutely right, Cynic. Like, you gotta, part of making that person happy, right? And part of making that successful is being right with yourself, right? Is because we don't know if this guy low key, drinks every day, slaps her up. Like, we don't get the context, right? We don't know. Maybe that's, maybe why she's being like that, because you're an a-hole, right? Exactly. So yeah, man, you're absolutely right. A lot of that being able to do for them, you got to first ask yourself, are you doing for you, right? Are you working on yourself? Are you on that path, right, of figuring that out, right? Because awareness is crucial, man. So well said.
Mhm.
Awareness is crucial, and I think that's a good
It
segue
is.
to the third story or the third submission that we have.
What do you got for us, baby? Let's go. Let's go.
So it begins. I'm 32 years old. I'm a local truck driver making maybe 70K. I'm the sole income and provider for my girlfriend of 7 years and our 4-year-old daughter. She has no aspirations to work or gain income or anything of that nature, so it's all on me. I'm trying so hard to do reasonable things here. So here is the problem. And he says taxes came in. I already sunk $1,400 into my car for repairs so she can drive it with our daughter full time because her car, which is also in my name, is going because sadly I'm in a position to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy for the second time.
Damn.
My car, which I sank money into, can't be claimed in the, I don't know what BK stands for. Does that mean anything to you guys? BK?
Bankruptcy?
Bankruptcy.
Maybe. Okay. In the bankruptcy, because my uncle is co-signer on it. So here's the kicker. The rest of the tax money, $2,250, I have set aside to pay for a vacation to Florida with her parents. But considering all these circumstances, I've come to a reasonable decision. The fact I'm only income, the bankruptcy, monthly expenses to run the household, and IRS tax bill, I've firmly decided I will not be going on this vacation because of all these circumstances. I can't justify going on vacation, so out of that $2,250, I'm giving her mother $1,900 to cover airfare, Disney parks, spending money, etc., etc., etc. So the fight is now that, I guess this is what she's saying to him, because he's putting it in quotes. I don't want to make memories with your child. You do nothing with your child. You want no part of it. Why don't you just live a little? Why ground yourself because of the bankruptcy, etc.? Seems like, let's see if I can just summarize the last bit here. He's tried explaining this to her, and she's saying, stop living life. She just wants to say, stop living life by paying bills and just live a little and do something. Easy for her to say, don't help. She hasn't helped financially in the last 7 years. So I'm sorry, it was a long one, but
No, that's all right.
She needs to
the
get a job.
context needs to be there, right?
I'm sorry.
Freaking exhausted just reading this thing, but
She needs to get a
yeah.
job.
So done. Good night. Good night,
All
folks.
right, we're out of here. Peace. Thanks for summing it up, OG.
But yeah, this is another common problem, right? Finances. I think it's like one of the leading causes for divorce, or at least it used to
Yes,
be.
sir. Yes, sir.
And
Huge.
it's another thing that I notice is making decisions like on the decisions some people make when actually they're financially really not in the position to make them
Mm.
is astounding. I mean, here I think he's actually being
Yeah.
he's showing
Responsible.
he's being showing the example of making a responsible decision. But
The two bankruptcies threw me off, though. Once you have one,
Yeah.
if you're going down a second one, something.
He's like,
she needs to get a
Yeah.
job.
I got my fifth bankruptcy on my deck here, and I was like, man, this thing, isn't that 7 years apart? Like, you
Yeah,
can't,
what's
damn, bro,
going on?
what you doing over here, big guy?
Yeah.
Listen, man, I'm gonna jump in here. It looks
it.
like she's been home for the past 7 years. Like she made a comment, right, that she hasn't worked in. I
and
can
they have a
understand.
4-year-old daughter.
And they have a 4-year-old daughter. I can understand her aspect in the sense of live a little. I get that, but the stress that he has as being the sole provider, right? Like he's doing enough where, yo, all you got to do is stay home and take care of our daughter. I'm gonna take care of everything else. With him being the head guy financially in the household, he needs to think in the manner that he's thinking. As far as like, is it responsible for me? But my thing is this: if you're still going to give your mother-in-law $1,900, then just go to Disney, because not like you could keep the money. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, I'm giving my mother-in-law $1,900 for Disney tickets, airfare, but I just don't want to go, basically. And I think maybe that's why his wife is like, yo, you're already giving us the money to go, make the memories with your kid. So it's a part of me is like, I get what she's saying. Got to be more in the moment. Got to understand that money isn't everything, even though ultimately, that stress of making sure the ship doesn't sink as a man is on you solely. I get that. But I do think that he needs to be more present. But at the same time, I feel like, a part of me is like, if you're already going to give La Suegra 1,900, big guy, I mean, what are we talking about? From 22 to 19? What are you going to stay with? $300? What you going to do with that, bro?
Right.
That ain't going to save your bankruptcy. Go to freaking Disney with your kid, and figure it out. Like, whether it is you guys figuring it out together, maybe now that the kid's older, her getting a part-time is the move. Maybe you got to look at a different gig so you can make more, so you guys can have, like a little more of a buffer, right? You're not so here on your 5th bankruptcy. Something has to change, though. Something has to change. 100%. I get what he's saying, but ultimately, I think it's a little bit of both. And if he's gonna fork out 19, I mean,
Right.
get on the plane, big guy.
Just go. Just
So
go.
you
man.
think? So you're saying if he's gonna give that kind of money out, he might as well go on the trip. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about it from that perspective.
I mean,
What
it
do you
wasn't like he
think?
was
You're
putting away
gonna
half.
stay home alone with 300? You're gonna
Right.
get some,
Right.
have a chicken dinner, have a 6-pack.
Yeah.
While your kids freaking at Disney, like making memories. Like, come on.
Do you think he should have contributed anything?
No, I don't think we should be going to Disney.
That's kind of my feeling.
Me too.
Yeah,
No one's going.
like, and that doesn't mean let's not do something special. It's just going to be something local wherever we are. Like, we can go maybe somewhere for the weekend, spend half of that, still do something special, still make it feel like it's different than a regular day, right? If we're celebrating, I think, the kid's birthday. Oh yeah, let's do something. But listen, we don't got Disney money. Right now, that's not what you're on your 2nd bankruptcy, my dude. Why are you going to Florida? And this is, I think, what you were alluding to. A lot of people are living outside of their means, especially here in the United States.
Absolutely.
Especially here. And I mean, I guess it's a problem everywhere. Unfair for me to say, but I can only speak from my vantage point. A lot of people live outside their means, and it's like, yo, you got to know what you got rope for and what you don't. Mm-hmm. And right now, big guy, I'm not saying next year, if we make some changes and we refocus and we come up with a good game plan by next birthday, it could be totally different, right? Mm-hmm. If something changes. But if we continue this this type of decision making, I think that the next 4 birthdays are going to be this type of situation because nothing is changing. You know what I mean? If it was me, we ain't going to Disney, baby Bubba. We staying local, a staycation, but still make it special. I mean, and the little girl's 4. I mean, she's not gonna be like, Dad, remember when we were supposed to go to Disney when she's 25 and you didn't take me? Because like that's not gonna be the case. You being there though is something she won't remember, which I think lends to what the wife is saying. But she needs to be in touch with reality a little better as well too. Like you're at home, you're fanning la chochita, you're not doing much. Hey, just live a little, big guy. I think she needs to be a little more understanding as well, a little more in tap with reality.
Yeah, that's my take as well. So, G, I think we can still hear you, but we lost your camera again.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's up to you if you want to continue or try another restart. But what I would say regarding this topic is it kind of, for me, goes back to what I was mentioning earlier, in the sense that as a man, you have enough pressure on you as it is, and he's in a situation where his wife is clearly
out of touch with reality.
Yeah, exactly. She's thinking that maybe this is how it should be, kind of situation. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's okay. Maybe they come from a traditional background where that was what was expected. But at the same time, she doesn't seem to have those sort of traditional values, right? Because if you have those traditional values, then you're also going to be much more careful about what it is that you're trying to push, on the family, because that you have only one income, right, from the husband. So trying to kind of make him feel bad and still push this vacation that you can't afford with your second bankruptcy looming. Seems a bit weird. It seems like, again, I don't know. Can you? Is that something you think you can suss out when you're dating someone? Like, does it have to be that you find out this kind of that your partner is this kind of person once you're in it?
I think some of it could be maybe that person disguising some of those things, and I think some of it could be you ignoring those red flags because you want to get that snatch. You want to get the punani so bad that you're looking the other way. You're looking the other way.
But you're right. You're right.
You're like, oh, I can make this happen. I'll give you the world, honey. I'll work 8 days a week if I have to. And I'll, because you want to say whatever you got to say to get in the game. And now that you're in the game, you're like, damn, do I really want to be playing first string quarterback here? Because I promised her the world. And she told me what she expected. And I promised her that I can do it, and now you're on your third bankruptcy. So on and so forth. You know what I'm saying?
What's that saying that's been going around for a while? Do better. We got to do better, gentlemen.
Do better.
Yes, communication, guys. Communication is key.
Yeah, guys. What you got, OD? Or what you got, Cynic? Sorry.
No, that's it, man. I mean, I'm not gonna harp on that because we're gonna have plenty of other such stories and examples.
I think that's more of the story is this guy put himself in that position. He's self-inflicted. You knew what you were doing, bro.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I think. A lot of the moral of our stories is gonna be that. That's my gut feeling, judging by what I've seen. But let's see. We already gave our opinion on it, right? Ideally, you won't go on the vacation at all. No one does. You do a staycation. Correct. But if you're going to put in that money, then
do something special, but be with your kid, man. Be with your kid. Kid's not going to be 4 again. Don't live in a place where now you're regretting not doing things when they were younger, right? Like, be with your kids. So, and in that one aspect, she's right, but she needs to be a little more grounded. But in fairness to her, again, maybe she laid those cards out and she said, "This is what I expect." And he was Captain America, saying that he can do it all. We don't know the details of it, but I mean, if you're on your second bankruptcy, come on, insanity, right? Doing the same thing, expecting a different result. We got to change something up.
So
absolutely.
Before we get to because I think we're coming up on the quote, but before we do that, we do have a couple of comments from Regis. First, he says regarding this, he says, I don't know where this dude lives, but where can you live in this day and age off of $70K, let alone for a family of 3?
That's real.
You guys will know better than me. I don't know what situation.
That's what I was thinking, man. I'm like, $70K, like to have $70K as a household income.
That's the sole income,
basically
right?
saying each person is making 35 is what you're saying, right? If 70 is the only thing coming in. So like put that into retrospect. Now, if everybody's making 70, I'm making 70, she's making 70, we're at 140 for the household. All right, we could do something, right? But if all we got is really 35 a pop and that 70 is just all coming from me, what are we doing here? That's a teacher's salary. No disrespect to teachers. I love education, but that's how we're shitting on teachers over here. That's initially when I thought. I was like, how could you be the sole breadwinner and be making that happen?
Well, also with 3 kids, guys, we have to also take into account childcare. If the wife does go to work,
she doesn't work though. She doesn't work.
No. But if she did, this is the conversation I think they're having. If I go to work and we had to put 3 kids in childcare, that my entire salary is going to childcare. I'd rather just stay home and you be the sole breadwinner. That could have been the conversation too, because childcare is not cheap at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. And that's something that I was mentioning to Frank. I think you might have dropped off for a second when I said it. It might be that they're a couple or family that has kind of like traditional values, right? Where the understanding was always that she would be like the one who takes care of the home and the kids, which would be fine as long as she has that mindset with everything, including not making stupid decisions about taking vacations to Disney when you can't afford it, right?
Exactly.
So that's where there's like, again, some conflict to me. If if that's what you're gonna do, then okay. But then also be realistic about what you can do as a family. But she's kind of like
Sure.
trying to have the best of both worlds.
Have your cake and eat it too.
Yes, sir. Well,
That time has come. I think we got to put a ball on this bad boy. Hold up. Did we just say anything else? Did we get him up to speed? Sounds like both of them made poor choices. I completely agree, my friend. It definitely seems that way. I think more him than her. I've seen it though, man. I've seen it. I see my friends be so infatuated with a partner that they're like, I'll walk the
Whatever
desert
she
for
wants.
you.
Really?
Know? Yeah. And then they can't, they can't
It
they
backfires.
they can't cash a check they've written, and it's like, bro, like if she doesn't like or isn't interested in you for the essence of you, then what are we doing, right? Because ultimately, if you can't uphold that, or maybe that's the kick in the butt you need, other people, could respond, right? So it's like, oh, I said this, so now I got to come through and I got to figure it out. Some people like that pressure, and I'm sure they do figure it out. But when you don't figure it out, and you've potentially, again, we don't know kind of what's going on here, but you potentially said that you can do more than you can, you're in that catch-22, man. I feel for him, though. All jokes aside, I feel for him.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
yeah.
It's a tough
If
one,
you're
man.
out there, bro, I hope you made a decision to do
brother.
a staycation and
Keep it local, baby.
get your household in order.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Hit us with
I
that
mean,
quote. Oh,
Is it with that quote? OG, you got that quote for us, baby? Or
Hold on.
is it OG or is it...
No, I got
I
one
think, wasn't it
OG.
Cynic that had the
It's
quote?
OG. It's OG.
He's like, I've read enough. I'm not reading anymore.
The people don't know it, but this is the third show.
We had to work through some kinks, all right? But we're rolling now, baby.
And I just say that because I did the quote the last 2 times, and I'm thinking I might have been jinxing it, so I'm not doing it this time.
All right, here we go, gentlemen.
Hit it.
You can't rely on how you look to sustain you. What sustains us, what is fundamentally beautiful, is compassion for yourself and for those around you. That's it. Thank you very much.
The people love it. The people love it.
So it's saying you can't rely on how you look to sustain you. It's the people around you. Is what it's saying?
Frank is like, what?
It's syntax error.
You can't rely on how you look to sustain you. What sustains us, what is fundamentally beautiful, is compassion for yourself and for those around you.
Okay, I get what they're saying. So, we can't be vain, right? Like we got to have our heart in the right place, right? We got to not only have compassion for ourselves and grace for ourselves, but for the people around us. I like that.
Correct.
I just needed to, I'm like, but I like that, man. Very nice, OG. Nice words. That's it,
Yeah.
boys,
Thank you,
man.
bro.
Episode 1.3 in the books. Thank you for joining us, Regis. Thank you for hanging in there, man, and
Absolutely.
contributing. We can't wait to have you on and get those
Yes.
takes live. It's gonna happen soon, man. So we're excited, boys. I like it, man. This is new to us. Look at us, huh? It's like that. Have you guys seen that show, Hot Ones, on YouTube?
My Dominic has. I've
Yeah,
heard
I
of
love
it, but
that
I've not
show.
watched it.
I'm a Hot Ones fanatic, and Paul Rudd is on there, and he's eating these crazy wings, and he's like, "Man, look at us, man, look at us. Who would have thought?" And I'm giving you the Paul Rudd right now. Look at us, man. We went from straight audio, right, where we were just, they couldn't see our faces, they could just hear our voice, so on and so forth, to transitioning to the video. Actually, not just talking about it, Cynic, because we've been talking about this for like 4 seasons, but actually doing it, man. So I'm proud of us. And
Indeed.
yeah, man, let's build it. Let's keep doing it.
Let's get it
If you
moving.
didn't catch us live, definitely catch us on the next one. And thanks for joining us. If you gave this a listen, we appreciate you.
We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you in
On to the next one.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2
Sounds
weeks. Actually,
Love.
3 weeks, because I'll be in Miami.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Ah.
but we'll let you
That's
guys
right.
know. Hey, listen, stay tuned.
I'll be in
We'll let you
Baltimore.
My son's turning 1. We're going to Disney.
Oh my
Baltimore?
God.
What is
I could
happening
afford
here?
it. Thankfully,
We have like 3 scheduling conflicts.
I'm going to Disney.
People are like, what
I
is
ain't
going on
bankrupt.
right now? All right, guys.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.